Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for having me. Raise your hand if it's your first Idea Fest. Awesome. That's amazing. Mine too. So I'm excited to share this with you all. We've got an awesome lineup of speakers. Last night, I enjoyed some time talking to everybody who's going to be up here on the stage. So as much as you all are hopefully enjoying being out in the crowd, I'm enjoying being a witness to this as well. So one of the themes for Idea Fest is to just imagine. And when I was reflecting on that and what I wanted to speak to you all about today, I really wanted to focus on just imagining the possibilities in your life. I'll get started with a little bit about who I am. And before I talk to you about my professional or philanthropic pursuits, I want to focus on the two most important things in my life, and that's that I'm a husband of 10 years to my wife, Katie. Those are our two dogs, Riley and June, in the top right. And then I'm also a father. This is my son, Leighton, who just turned a year old this past Sunday. I want to tell you a little bit about where I'm from. I'm born and raised in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. This is a photo from Christmas, 1990. So when I was just 6 months old with my parents, they were young. They were 21 at the time. My dad was born and raised on a dairy farm. So that's a little bit about kind of my heritage and where I come from. And then I want to get into what I do. And a part of that is understanding that I'm a first-generation college student. And what I realized as an opportunity in my life was my education and what that could offer me. So I've got some photos up here in the top center from 2008 when I graduated from the Gatton Academy of Math and Science here at WKU as part of the inaugural class. My WKU graduation 2012, and then my graduation from the University of Louisville School of Dentistry in 2016. By day, I'm a dentist. I'm a practicing dentist in Oldham County, Kentucky. So I have two practices, Crestwood and Pewee Valley, which is my wife's hometown. And I practice full spectrum general dentistry. So that's anywhere from seeing children and families to doing clear retainer orthodontics like Invisalign, and then also treating very complex full mouth rehabilitations involving dental implants, sinus lifts, and a wide variety of surgery. And that's something that I really enjoy. This is my team at our Christmas party this past year. So myself and my business partner, Dr. Chandler, we've got a team of 14, and these girls and ladies keep our heads on straight and help us provide the best care to our patients possible. In addition to practicing dentistry, and a lot of people find this a little bit out of the ordinary, but I also co-founded a leather goods company here when I was at WKU my senior year called Clayton & Kroom. And really what our mission is and our goal is as a company is to provide lasting goods and meaningful relationships. What Clay and I realized when we were at WKU is that our grandfathers had been wearing the same belts for decades and they hadn't fallen apart on them. And yet the stuff that our parents were buying from department stores, the belt my mom bought from Kohl's, the wallet from J. Crew, were the type of things that after 18 months, we're already ready to go in the garbage. And so you can see our mantra here for our company, and that's they don't make it like they used to. And you'll notice we have a strike through on the don'ts. And the reason we do that is to emphasize that we do make it like they used to, using quality, time-tested materials and processes that end up with products that live with us. Now we have a flagship retail store in Louisville, Kentucky, a few hundred wholesale and retail accounts, and then a robust online presence as well. This was mentioned in the intro, but I also founded Bike for Alls, which is a nonprofit at this point. In 2009, when I was a freshman at WKU, I set out with the goal to cycle across country, recruited 6 of my friends, and in the summer of 2010, we put our rear wheels in the Pacific Ocean, cycled cross country, 9 states, 3,200 miles, ended with our front wheel in Yorktown, Virginia, in the Atlantic Ocean, and raised $56,000 for Alzheimer's research. That was something I was passionate about, that I cared a lot about, I cared deeply for with my grandfather having passed from the disease, and then most recently, a year and a half ago, losing my second grandfather to Alzheimer's. But over the past 13 years, I've been intimately involved with this organization, serving on the board and helping. This summer will be the 10th ride going across country, and to date, we've raised over $250,000 in the past decade. So, today, I have a couple key takeaways that I want you to walk away with from what I have to share with you. And that's looking at opportunities, looking at possibilities, and seeing how can I accomplish these and what does this look like in my life. And the first part of that is that goal setting is critical. And that's the what. What is it that I want to accomplish in my life? What is it that I want to do? Where do I want to be? Setting the vision. The second thing is scheduling time for your accomplishments. This is the how, the practical, in-action, hard work that goes into achieving a goal that you set. And then the last thing is remembering where you came from. And this is the why. This is your passion, your purpose, the cause, your philanthropy. Perhaps my first interaction with a goal-setting exercise is when I was in 5th grade. So you all out here, what, 5th, 6th, 8th, 10th, what grades are you all in? 8th? Late middle school, early high school, right? 6th? 6th grade? Awesome, awesome. So when I was in 5th grade, my teacher gave us an assignment, and that was to set a goal for the next day, a goal for the next week, a goal for the next year, and then a goal way out, 5, 10 years away. And if I recall correctly, it was something like what you see on the screen. My one-day goal was to win my basketball game the next night. My one-week goal was to get an A on my math test. My one-year goal was to start a savings account and get $100 in it. And then my 5 to 10-year goal was to get a full ride to college. And while I don't remember how I performed on the first 2 goals here, I do know that when I graduated from the Gatton Academy and I decided to stay at WKU for my undergraduate studies, I did have a full ride in college. The interesting thing about that is when we had to go up in front of our class in 5th grade and present these ideas and goals to our classroom, my teacher felt like this was a bit ambitious, and she wished me the best of luck, but told me not to get my hopes up. So what I want to leave with you all with today in regards to goal setting is don't be afraid to set the bar high, and you are the only person that can hold yourself accountable to where you want to go. The next thing that I did as far as goal setting early in my life was the summer of my 18th birthday. So I graduated Gatton Academy 2008, senior in high school. I spent my summer 2 months in Japan living with a host family through a scholarship with the Mazda Corporation. And this was right before I began my time as a freshman here at WKU. So I went to Japan, had an amazing time, opened my eyes to a lot of things about the world. And on my 18th birthday, I was reflecting back on what I had done in middle school and high school and how I'd gotten to where I was at that point and what I wanted the next decade of my life to be. And so on my 18th birthday, when everyone had gone to bed, I remember laying down and making a bucket list of 50 things that I wanted to do before I died. And on that list, I'll just name a few of them, were the following. I wanted to meet my wife, my future wife, and start a family. I wanted to complete my undergraduate degree, which I knew was going to be at WKU. I wanted to get accepted into and graduate from professional school. At that time, I was undecided between medicine and dentistry, but I knew I wanted to pursue one of those. I wanted to own my own business one day and be an entrepreneur, and I wanted to cycle across country. So those were goals that I had set in 2008. And if you fast forward to 2016, when I walked across the stage at my dental school graduation, I had checked all of these, which was amazing. So that's what I want to emphasize, is that goal setting is critical. You have to plan, you have to strategize, you have to cast a vision of where you want to be if you want to be there in the future. An analogy that I always use for this is when I started bike riding and I was sitting in the saddle and I'm riding on my handlebars, looking over my front wheel. I used to focus a foot or two in front of my front tire. And when I did that, I saw every pebble, every speed bump, every pothole, and I was constantly course correcting to try to get where I wanted to go. And that made for quite a bumpy ride. If you looked at the path that I took, it was kind of errant, and it was frustrating, and it wasn't that enjoyable. But when I changed my sight setting and my vision casting from what was directly in front of me to where I wanted to be 20, 40 feet down the road, I could ease around the speed bumps and the pebbles and have a smooth ride and ultimately get where I wanted to go a heck of a lot easier. So aim high with your goals. And I think one of the best quotes that I can share with you on this is from Harriet Tubman, and she says, "Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars, to change the world." So set goals, take that away from today. The second thing that I want to say is to schedule time for your accomplishments. And I wrote up here, zig while everybody else zags. And what that means is when I was wanting to get a full ride to college, when my friends were wanting to play on the weekend, I was doing homework. When I decided that I wanted to go to dental school, that required hard work and effort outside of the normal schedule. I was living in a house with guys in college, and a lot of them would go out and party on the weekends, and if I had a lab report or a chemistry exam coming up, I knew where I needed to spend my time. So oftentimes in society, we can easily get caught up in what everybody else is doing, what's normal, watching TikTok videos, whatever you all do now. And the key here is if you set a goal, then you have to put that into action in order to achieve it. And ultimately, that's what allows you to pursue your dreams. Here's a few quotes about scheduling time. Dreams do not come true just because you dream them. It's hard work that makes things happen. It's hard work that creates change. And then Conrad Hilton says, success seems to be connected with action. Successful people keep moving. They make mistakes, but they don't quit. And at the end of the day, what this means is if you have good habits, time becomes your ally or an asset that you can use. And if you have bad habits, time becomes a liability or it becomes your enemy. And I saw this in college when I had classes that took up, if I had 18 credit hours, those were the semesters that I got a 4.0. And then the semesters that I had 12 credit hours and had a lot more free time and I started playing more basketball at the student center or eating longer lunches instead of going to the library, those were the semesters that I struggled. Number 3 is to savor the moment and to never forget where you came from. And this is your why. You know, for me, I was a first-generation college student, and I would have never had that opportunity to do what I wanted to do had my parents and my grandparents not come before me and laid a path of hard work and accomplishment. I come from a farming family, so while no one in my family was college educated, they did know how to work hard, and that's something, a value that they instilled in me early on. These are a couple photos of my Papa Cummings, so he's the one that passed away from Alzheimer's in 2009, and perhaps the most amazing thing about this bike ride is that when I did that for the first time in 2010, it was a singular event. We didn't know if anything would ever come of it, but I knew once this ride started, we had a nonprofit, and now going into our 10th ride, that the most special thing is I don't look at my grandfather's life as something of sorrow or sadness. I'm able to reflect back and see that the life he lived carries on today. I mean, a decade plus later, after his life, it's still making a difference and helping raise money and awareness to fight a disease that affects so many of us today and projected to be many, many more in the future. So the key here that I want you to walk away with from me talking to you is that if you imagine where you want to be, cast a vision of where you want to go, put in the work and effort, and set aside time to schedule those accomplishments, there is no limit to what you can accomplish. And for a kid that was in your shoes not that long ago, 5th, 6th grade, setting goals, not knowing where I wanted to be in life or what I wanted to do, I think the most important thing is to imagine the possibilities that you have and the opportunities that lay in front of you. So take advantages of days like today, the opportunity to be around other people, like-minded individuals that want to excel and achieve, and I think you all will find the most success in your careers. So, thank you all.